So, Wolf and Micah, you both are an incredible couple. And I heard some things that we were talking about in regards to, this idea of really being able to feel into that word, I love you. And feeling, what I read in that is a sense of safety for that word to be able to flow. Does that feel like it resonates with you when you bring that up? What's happening for you, Micah?
I think I worried that if I didn't say it back, that he would feel like I didn't actually feel that way. But I have a hard time saying it. And I know that you don't feel that way, but
I don't have a hard time saying it because if I love you, I love you. I'm not forcing you to say it back. I don't need you to say it back. I'm letting you know where I am. I've been in relationships before where I told people I loved them and they've done horrible things to me.
I hear you.
And it was out of spite, it was out of vengeance, but I always knew, like, when I was moving through a relationship or navigating this relationship, I'm not gonna do something to hurt you. And if something did come up, I didn't do it on purpose. That was never my intention, so I can show up and be accountable for what I did wrong. So when I say I love you, I could be standing in a field by myself. I don't need you to show up with lions and tigers and bears and whatever and try to prove it to me. I'm here already.
Is that a biographical thing though? Like, and a historical thing? So I'm just, I'm thinking about myself as I listen to you guys talking. So I'm like, okay, I've gone through a lot in my life. And so like Micah, maybe not for the same reasons, I would also find it difficult to make that leap to say that I love you, because in doing so, especially with the work that I've done in learning about what love is, I'm not so quick to share that word anymore.
And I think for me, it's kind of the opposite. I said it first. It was difficult to hear it back. Because for me, it's like, other people who said those words have done things that did not feel like that. So I don't even want to hear the words. It feels like coercion.
Yes.
It feels like coercion to me. Hearing the words feels like coercion. Where I agree with him, because we're really similar, I know that when he says it, he's saying it just to say it because he feels it. And I know when I say it just to say it. I don't need the reciprocity.
Yes.
But when I do get that, I'm like,
Yeah.
So
That's interesting.
It is interesting, and I would love for us to just take a moment to feel into exactly that idea or that sense. So what I'm hearing you say is that when somebody mentions it or brings, the word I love you into play, it doesn't feel like it's resonating, right? It doesn't. That's not your way of showing love. So I would love for you, just for how I work, is for you just to take a deep breath for me for just a second. Breathe in.
Can I do it too?
Oh, let's everybody flow into the space. Let's take a deep breath in together. Let's breathe in through the nose, because the nose is our life breath, and just exhale. And as you exhale, drop into the space of your body. And I want you to think about this sense, your desire to be loved. And as you think about that moment, as you think about how love shows up in the space of your body, can you locate it? Locate where you feel love in your body. And just kind of let me know when you get there. Just put your hand up a little. I know for me that when I'm feeling that idea of love, it sits right underneath my heart. Not quite my heart, but it's like this big, like warm, fuzzy space that sits underneath my heart. And as you picture and feel into that space of love, I wonder if you can also feel into how you want somebody to show you that. And could you possibly verbalize it, Micah? And could you possibly verbalize it, our darling LA? How does love show up for you?
Time and touch, definitely. My space was definitely my bum.
Yes, I love that. It's good, it's squishy, it's kind of cozy, our bum.
I I think it's this is gonna be so weird.
Nothing's weird.
Everything is
I
safe
think
here.
it's being spanked.
Ooh, I
This
love
is how
that.
love shows up in
This
your
is how it feels
Absolutely.
when she was asking me.
Wow.
Because it's definitely this sense of like playfulness and it's this
Yes.
sense of like safety and like comfort. Is if I did something bad on purpose, that is how I would want to be punished.
I
Oh
love
my
that.
Oh wow.
I love that. And there's actually some research. There is actually research.
There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of emotion that you hold there. I know that for sure.
And see, there is research. This is another conversation, but there is research that shows that actually using BDSM, using these spaces, actually does create safety and is a way. There's some studies happening around using that to create safety for people who have been in, you know.
Yeah, licks. Yeah, licks.
Yeah.
For real, for creating control and bringing back safety
Yes,
into
there's
the
a book.
body.
Yeah.
There's a book called Kink.
Yes.
That is for people who have been sexually abused, that have operated in the BDSM space specifically as a learning how to be a dominatrix,
therapy. Yes.
because they don't know how to use their voice.
Yes.
Because of the abuse. So they practice being a dominatrix where you have to be very assertive, you have to know exactly how to tell somebody what you want, which is a very uncomfortable place for somebody who doesn't know how to use their voice.
And very
So-
powerful. So I thank
Yeah.
you for
Yeah.
mentioning that, because you are 100% right.
Yeah.
But for bringing it
For
back
this,
into
no,
the
but definitely,
space,
I think that follows that because for me, it was very much my reaction would be freeze. So being able to feel something or be able to react is definitely something that would come in this love.
I love this so much, and because of that, darling, I think it's so important knowing that for you, I'm really feeling and reading that it's touch, that it is allowing you to be in the space of your body. And why we did that exercise is that when we talk about trauma and informing and being in the space of trauma, we very rarely bring it back into that trauma actually lives in your body.
Absolutely.
Trauma is defined as a physiological response to an
to stress,
event, to a stress event that has happened in your world. So it's very important that as you cycle through the experiences of some of that stuff that may be around the word I love you, that we represent and find the space within us. So I'm going to offer Wolf, if you would do me the joy of just reaching for her hand for me.
I thought you were going to say reach for her bum.
Well, if we were in a different setting, maybe.
Yeah, right?
If we were in a different setting, maybe.
Just give her a little tap.
Right?
A love tap.
Right? But what I would love, in a different setting,
Yes,
maybe.
yes. No, I was just
But,
kidding.
but what I would love is for both of you, just let's close in the gap a little bit as well. Right, I love this. Thank you so much. And for both of you, in this moment, I'm just wondering if you can offer her that touch again. Be real, like touch her body in a firm way. Give her those kisses, right? And whisper to her the word, I love you.
I love you, baby.
Yes, yes. And in that, just soften both of your eyes and be in the moment of the two of you. Because one of the things that is healing is being able to create touch and intimacy.
Here's what happens to me in that moment. I get turned on, and then it becomes something other than this loving, intimate moment.
But why, as it should. I would argue to you that that's not a bad thing.
Well, I feel like it's a bad thing because it's connected to how I learned what love was, which was through. So I think for different people, I think that their approach to love has to, and that's why I say the history and the biography of the person, for me, was very integral. And so while I understood love in this way, I recognized through my own growth that for me it was a distortion of what love is. And so I had to reset and find a different pathway to a pure sense of love so that I could hear I love you and understand what it is for me, so that if I don't see that reflected to me in the way that I now know it through my creator, then I know that I don't need to spend time there.